Okay, let's bring in Danny. I'm gonna bring him on. He's working on Good Bad Things with
Yes,
Max.
with
He's a
Max. Tie it
I think
together
he's
here.
the rising star of the FSHD Society community.
Here he is.
Already a star, but our folks got to get to know this guy and love him. I can't wait for the movie to come out. Hey, Danny.
Hey, Danny, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you guys too.
So I hear you're working on a great film. Good, good, bad things. We just had Max Adler on earlier, talking about it from his perspective. But you're a screenwriter, right? And you're involved in this film. Tell us a little bit about it. We heard what Max shared a little bit with us, but I think he just scratched the surface.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to. It's kind of a very spontaneous thing that just happened. I was like about a year ago, you asked me what I was doing. I would
Yeah.
have told you I'm still in the fashion industry making clothes.
Okay.
But one of my best friends growing up, Shane Stanger, is at some USC film school. And He's just a very hungry slash impatient individual. And while he's still at the START program at USC, called me up one day and he's like, I want to do a short film for one of my classes. I want to do it about you. Would you like to do it? And I was like, I've never acted before. I've modeled here and there, but never acted. And he's like, yeah, let's just do it. So we did a little short movie. It was like about 5 to 8 minutes and great response. And going into summer, he's like, I want to make a feature film. He called me up in like May, and like most movies take years from conception to actually finishing. But he called me up in May. He's like, I'm gonna write a script. We're gonna make this thing happen. He
Yeah.
got a script. He hated it. Came over and he's like, listen, we could just not do this, or we can sit down and crank out a script together and make this happen. So we sat down for 3 weeks, had a full script, casted, funded, and shot it. And it's in post right now. Was a really special experience. And so I guess on my resume, I can add actor.
Well, yeah, I suppose it's like, I mean, that is official, right? To be in a film. You went from a 5 to 8 minute movie to a feature film pretty quick. And then you
Yeah,
went from what,
feature.
May to, is it end of November here? It's like 7 months, 7 months, and you made a feature film in that amount of time. That
Yeah.
is insanely fast. Now, are you going to have this expectation that the next film you're in, that you're just going to expect it to take only 6 to 7 months?
Oh no, I already know. I'm like, I'm scared. I already told everyone. I'm like, I'm just so spoiled already. It was just such a good experience. Everyone on set was just so nice. All good vibes. Like most of the people were very experienced in the film industry, other than Shane and I. And they're like, this is not normal. So especially being a disabled actor as well, and just the accommodations and how amazing everyone was. Obviously, from the director to the producers to my co-stars, the hair and makeup, everyone was just beyond accommodating and awesome.
What's the story about? If you had to like give us a pitch, hey, this is who we got.
Yeah, it's definitely a dramedy, drama comedy, and it's just about just a young male adult
Mhm.
finding self-worth, to put it as simple as possible. Yes, the main character, myself, has a disability, but it's not really, that's not the main topic, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely everyone will find a part of themselves in this movie, which is quite unique, especially when the main character is disabled.
Right.
But yeah, it's about a character who has so much going for him through love and friendship and family and career and just himself, but just can't shake what society has instilled in his mind as he can't and he shouldn't and he won't. So that's basically what the title is. It's a good bad thing. It's we all have these bad feelings, and we always have to question: is this our bad feelings, or is these bad feelings that are being our society giving us? Which happens a lot when you're disabled, I believe.
Right.
Or I know, and a lot of bad feelings I have is like these aren't mine that I have to question. These are just societal, you know, pressures and societal like norms that are like telling myself I shouldn't fall in love, I shouldn't be successful, I shouldn't have friends, I shouldn't be independent. Like there are all these bad feelings that you have to challenge. Um, and I think that just happens more enough with disabled individuals, but just with anybody these days. And that's why we call it the good bad things.
Yeah, interesting. That's an interesting title, and I love the title now that you've kind of expressed what the story is about and explained that end of it. Um, I think that it is fascinating that there's not more actors and actresses that are disabled that are working films. They'll hire an able-bodied person to play the role of that person. This has to me been a long time coming, and I'm not quite sure why it's taken this long to see this more regularly. We had Madison Ferris on earlier that did Broadway, FSHD actress as well, and kind of also stunned by the same process of how are they casting certain people for certain roles doesn't make much sense. But in this situation, you were kind of plucked. You were asked, like, I see the story for you. This is going to be about you. So then, how much is the story? I mean, is it drawn from some of your own real life things?
Yeah, it's definitely authentic. And that's the special thing about this movie. I feel like a lot of disabled stories on film and television, there's a lot of questions going behind them. It's like, how authentic is this? Is this written from
Okay.
a disabled voice in mind? And yeah, it fully was. I was very much involved in the whole process of this movie. It is very much similar to my life that I've lived so far. Except well, you can I don't want to give too much away, but yes,
Right.
very, very much so relatable to my life. And like yeah, like you said, it's unfortunate there's very few disabled actors and out there. I feel like I kept saying it's time, and the time is now. That you will see a lot more disabled representation on screen and on stage in Broadway. It's needed. I'm new in this. I'm hooked. I'm obsessed. I love acting. I want it to be my future. It is a little nerve-wracking. Like I'm positive that this movie is going to be successful and be very much loved. But then coming out of that, what's next? And yeah, I'm just gonna have to and push myself to, just be a part of the community and welcome the community and try to build more disabled stories and more, disabled opportunities for that.
But it's all relatable. When people are watching the film, they're going to see themselves in you. And that's, to me, doesn't mean only those that have FSHD, but even just others, with the challenges of their own life and the fact that, feelings and relationships and struggles are universal. It doesn't really matter what other things you're dealing with. Everybody has something to cope with while they go through your average typical life things, relationships, love, etc. I'm excited to see it. I know Max got me all geared up to see it, so I'm excited. I can't wait till it comes out, to be honest with you. And I think, yeah, I'd imagine.
I'm literally waiting.
I'd
Yeah,
imagine.
it's like going into it. I'm actually going to be possibly able to see the first rough cut in like a week or so.
Okay,
I mean, Lay's seen more than I have. I've only
really?
seen a couple. Yeah, she saw one of the first scenes that we cut. I have not seen that scene yet. But I heard it's good. So I don't suck, thankfully.
I can jump in and confirm
Yeah,
that I have seen a scene, and it's you absolutely do not suck.
He does not. Okay.
You do
okay.
not. It is just this one brief cut that I saw, and I'm not going to give anything away because it's a pretty poignant scene. It was
Oh, boy.
really beautiful and authentic, and I just cannot wait to see the full movie and to share it with our community. I think it's going to mean, on many levels, it's going to mean so much to not just the FSHD community, but in particular the FSHD community and beyond. So
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
thankful you said yes and stepped in to do it, you know.
Yeah, and I honestly, when we jumped on that call, I didn't like. I was so just heads in on the movie, like focusing on my scenes and getting this thing done. And it's kind of interesting, you know. And I was able after our call to take a step back and realize the possible impact and what this movie is able to do. And I wasn't. I'll be honest. I wasn't. There wasn't the reason I did this movie. First and foremost, it wasn't selfishly either, but it was like I wasn't fully thinking of it as like an advocacy thing, but it is going to have that for sure.
Absolutely.
And I am very much excited. I will be reaching out shortly to the both of you once we
Perfect.
get more Africa, because we are going to definitely include a lot of different organizations for sure, the FSHD Society, on just making sure that you know this movie is what we want it to be and it portrays the right message. I'm pretty sure it is. It's going to do that already, but we want the community to be involved. That's first and foremost very important to Shane and I.
Mhm.
And yeah, we have big goals for this thing. Big, like
Well, and I think the
like
FSHD Society personally, and just the rest of us, we're also excited to support that process, right? We're thankful to be a part of it. We want to help elevate the voice of this movie and the work that you're doing, because you know, for me, when I saw the short clip I saw, I instantly said, this is a game changer for some people. I really believe that. I think there's something about that authentic level of representation and some of the raw honesty that I'm believe we're going to see in the full movie. That there's a reason theater and art and film, you know, changes people and moves them to act. And we need an active and engaged community that's willing to step into that and bring what they have to bear if we're going to get to treatments and a cure in the next few years, which I think is possible. And so I think we're going to look back over our shoulder a couple of years from now and say, well, this was a part of that. This movie, your work, this movie was a part of making that happen.
So then you said you started in fashion, right? I mean, that was your when you got called to this. So what happens when the next role for the next film comes, and then also the call? Are you answer the call for the fashion, or are you going with the? That's it. You're actor. You're all in.
I love fashion. It's still going to be my love. It's a family business thing, but yeah, no, acting is
Got the bug.
it's everything now. Yeah, for sure. And it's gonna be interesting what happens next. I'm being patient. But it's just something about being on set and nailing a scene and just the whole environment. It's special. I love it, and I can't wait to see what is gonna come next, honestly. And meeting people like Max. I don't know if Max told you the story of how we met, but yeah, that was very not planned. Like he was a late addition to a role that someone had to bounce out of. And I was just rehearsing in a room for the next upcoming scene. He came in, introduced himself. We started talking. He's like, oh, so like what, muscular dystrophy do you have? And I was like, oh, I have FSH. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah. Like he's like, my mom and grandma had it, and I can possibly have it too. And I was like, what's the odds of that? Honestly.
Right. It's pretty providential, I think.
Yeah, it's meant to be. And he's been amazing in this whole process. And I'm excited that we can do this together. Once this movie blows up, it's just like it's a special story that we just add to the specialness of this movie. But yeah, I'm excited to get more involved in society and I've never looked at myself as like an advocate, but definitely I've learned a lot in the last couple of years, especially through COVID, on just my mindset on being disabled and being proudly disabled and what it means, and all of that. And I definitely thought I was living a powerful disabled life before, but in the last couple of years, it's definitely grown tremendously. And there's something special about being disabled. There's nothing wrong, and there's just like we're amazing individuals. I think again, it's a good bad
Heck
thing.
yeah.
Society continues to make us feel like we are lesser and not important, and that's not true whatsoever. Ableism is just out of control at the moment, and it needs to be changed. It's going to happen with this movie slightly, and it's going to happen more and more in the next upcoming years. Yeah, there's nothing wrong about being disabled. It's not about being different. We're just individuals. We really are, and we can live amazing, powerful, happy, exciting lives in every aspect. And it all just change. It all starts with your mindset, plain and simple. Telling everyone that that's not the truth, and this is my story, and that's what it's all about. And there's some really, really awesome people that are doing some really awesome things, not myself, that I've been following and befriending, and there's just some really awesome stuff being done in the disabled community. And it's gonna just grow and grow in these upcoming years for sure.
I think that's
Well
right.
said. Well said. Well, thanks, Danny, for being here, and we're looking forward to the movie when it comes out for all of us to eye guzzle up. Can't wait. Can't wait. To see it.
Yeah, keep your eyes and ears open. Next couple months, I will be reaching out for a good little viewing
Phenomenal.
to get your input on it. Hopefully everyone loves it. And well, when premiere and then festival and all that, 2023 is going to be a big year for sure.
It's going to be a big year. Thank you for all you're doing, Danny. Thanks for being
Absolutely.
here.
Thank you.
Wait.
Thanks, Tim. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Here.
Danny Kurtzman acting in that movie with Max Adler, Good Bad Things. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I did not know that the scene that I saw he hadn't even seen.
Yeah.
He was front and center in it. And it was a very emotional scene with him and his dad in the guy who played his dad in the movie, and it was really beautiful. And so I feel that's kind of special. It was sort of embargoed, like you can see it, but don't tell anybody about it. That's all I can say. So I think that's going to be a pretty phenomenal thing to be a part of, and we can't wait to help lift that up. And I just loved what he had to say there. Like being disabled does not. You can still absolutely live a rich, full, awesome, phenomenal life. And I absolutely agree with that. We just gotta, sometimes
change the culture of that.
You gotta change the culture a little bit, right? I mean, ableism is an ugly thing, and infantilizing and treating people that are disabled in any way, whether it's neurodiversity or physical or anything else, as though they're less than or less intelligent or like children, just nothing makes me crazier. I mean, just nothing makes me crazier.
Right. We're all different, and that's just what, period. That's just how it is. I mean,
but what makes us different makes us stronger, and it's the power of that diversity that is going to change things for the better, and that makes the world rich and beautiful and makes magic things happen. And we just have to continue to embrace that. And that's what's so cool about today is every guest that's been on has been from sort of a different walk of life, tackling it in a different way, and yet we're coming together as one community, to make a very real difference. And that's just exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what this is all about. We're supposed to come together, and represent this cause. And we gotta keep raising the money, raising the funds. We got 2 hours here to the end.
A couple more hours left.